Well, welcome everybody to week 3 of our online program for the alumni of the Sunshine Coast Health Center. And this month, November, we've been taking a step back and reflecting upon the key themes that we've brought up in the last 2 years of the program. So this week, we'll talk about meaning and purpose. Of course, we had to put that in there, right, because it's me. So this is right out of Viktor Frankl. Frankl said that happiness was the byproduct of living a meaningful life, of living a personally meaningful life. You didn't even have to work at happiness. It just comes naturally. As long as what you were doing, this daily life you were living, you felt fulfilled and satisfied. Okay? This is really key to your recovery because you got to remember what Viktor Frankl also said about addiction. He said addiction was a response that people used if they felt their lives were not personally meaningful. And this is this idea for those of you who are have joined the 12-step program. This is pretty fundamental to the way Bill Wilson understood, at least alcoholism. Right, and remember back to Shrine Auditorium, 1943, Bill Wilson told the assembled crowd that the alcoholic was the fellow who's trying to get his religion out of a bottle. And this idea of, if you think about it, what you get with this religion is this way of making sense of the world, right? This is one of the key things. And even if you don't like religion, think about spirituality. One of the key things that Dr. Hart and I have figured out writing this chapter on spirituality and addiction is that spirituality provides a way of making sense of life. It provides a way that you can find meaning because it gives you this like structure of how the world operates and what you're doing. And it's actually, some people argue that it's actually the key piece of spirituality is that it allows you to find meaning in life. But anyway, so we've got psychology, we've got the 12-step program, each of them telling us basically the same thing. And as you know, at the Sunshine Coast Health Center, we do define addiction along with Viktor Frankl. So we actually do define the addiction as a response to living a life that's kind of dull and boring. And Narcotics Anonymous actually says the addict's life is meaningless, monotonous, and boring. So it's to deal with the situation, because this is like, whoa. I mean, how do you live in a world that's meaningless, monotonous, and boring? You got to do something, or else you commit suicide or end up in a psychiatric ward, right? So the addict uses this tactic of the drugs and the lifestyle to deal with this situation. So what you got to do in recovery, obviously, is you got to find a way of making yourself feel fulfilled, of finding meaning in life, but this time without the substances, right? That's the trick, right? And if you do this, and if Viktor Frankl is right, and psychology is right, and the 12-step program is right, the result will be you'll have no interest in the substance. So this idea of living a personally meaningful life is really important. And again, it will be up to you to figure out what that is, because whatever it is for you is not going to be the same for me, and whatever it is for me is not going to be the same for you. This is a very unique thing. So I'm sure you've heard us talk about that over the last couple of years. But it's always a good reminder. So we'll use that as number 3 of our big 4. Anyway, see you next week.